Hi everyone, happy Monday. I wanted to come on and video a little, summary of our last 4-week kickoff. I thought it'd be a lot easier than writing it all out and making you read it. So I hope that you've enjoyed the past 4 weeks. This kickoff is a lot different than anything we've ever done. And the reason for that is because we really wanted to introduce you to the 80/20 concept. As opposed to dictating what you can and cannot eat, the 80/20 approach or method really teaches you how to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself. 80% of the time, the majority of your time, you're eating lean meats, vegetables, complex carbs, fruits, healthy fats. That's what you're eating for the majority of your meals, but you're also able to sprinkle in some of those little indulgences or things that you enjoy: chocolates, sweets, alcohol, going out to eat. But overall, the 80/20 concept can really create for you a healthy lifestyle long term. And that's what we're going for. We're not going for a quick fix or something that will only last for a period of time. We're looking for things that you can sustain for the rest of your life, really. So the 80/20 approach is a good way to kind of introduce how to do that for yourself. And that's really one of the biggest takeaways that I'm hoping that you got from this kickoff. In addition to that, it really is important to understand that the reason that Kevin and I don't believe in restrictive diets or telling you what you can and cannot eat is because restrictive diets don't last you. There are times in your life where, yes, you will have to dial in your nutrition a little bit more than just the 80/20 concept. If you have a reunion coming up or a vacation, or you have a goal to lose a certain amount of weight for a certain purpose, if you adhere to a restrictive diet for a period of time, you will likely reach that goal. However, what you do after that is what keeps you maintaining healthy habits. And that is where the 80/20 concept comes into play. So for example, if I ask a lot of you, have you ever had a goal where you've adhered to a restrictive diet plan? And by restrictive, I mean just that. I mean, it tells you what you can and what you cannot eat and how many times and how much you can eat. If you say, yeah, I've followed a plan like that and yeah, I reached my goal. Of course you did, and that's awesome. My next follow-up question would be, what happened after? Did you put the weight back on? Did you spiral out of control? And I would say the majority of you would say, yeah, it was a snowball effect. I felt really good because I reached my goal, but then I started eating all the things I wasn't supposed to be eating, and now it's 3 months later and I'm still haven't gone back on track. Why? Because restrictive plans are not sustainable. Which again brings me to another point, and that point is you should not be on a diet for the rest of your life. You should not be dieting for the majority of your time. You need to, like I mentioned, you might be on a little bit more restrictive dieting program for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, but then you should be able to transition into the 80/20 concept and live a healthy lifestyle. So that is really what those are really a couple of points that we were hoping that you got from this kickoff, and how that 80/20 approach can be so beneficial in that. The other, one of the other kind of gut check realities I was hoping that you kind of could grasp in this kickoff was that intention and action are two different things. So coming into the kickoff with high intentions, I admire and I think are great. However, pairing that intention with actionable items that you can do every day is really where you're going to see your change and your progress and your results. So it's not saying I'm never going to eat sugar for the rest of my life, or I'm never going to have a glass of wine for 30 days. That maybe is not totally actionable. The intention is good, but what small actions can you make? And that's really a big thing for everybody, myself included, that we have to understand is that being able to take action every day over a long period of time is what gives us a long-term healthy lifestyle. A lot of you, I know, have made it a habit to get into CrossFit Prescott Valley. Good job. That's huge. You've made it a priority, and not only have you made it a priority, you've made it an actionable item that you do 3 to 5 times a week, sometimes even some of you even more. You're going to exercise for 1 hour every day. That's habit now. So what other daily habit in the kitchen, in your nutrition, can you add to that to help your progress? The couple other points I wanted to make in regards to this kickoff is related to tracking macros. A lot of you track macros for the first time, and I heard a lot of very varying opinions on macros over the last 4 weeks, and I get it. I totally get it. Here's what I'm going to say to some of you first-time macro trackers, and even some that have been tracking for a while. If you did not meet your macros that you were allotted more than 90% of the time, I would say if you had 6 out of 7 days every single week for the last 4 weeks that you hit your macros within 5 to 10 grams, if you did that, awesome. If you tell me that you didn't, you may not leave this group and say macros didn't work for you. Why? Because you didn't adhere to the macro plan. It's like any plan. Whatever it is, whether it's you eat this and you don't eat this, whether it's macros and you have to meet a certain amount, whether it's portion control with containers, whatever it is, you have to adhere to the guidelines 90% or better in order for it to work. So I understand that macros has a learning curve, and I get that. So stick with it if you want to, but just understand that macros is something that does take a little time to learn. And once you do, it can be very beneficial. Why do I think it's so beneficial is because it really gives you a variety of foods that you can eat, and you can just kind of pick and choose how you're going to make those fit into your macronutrients. With that being said, do you have to track macros in order to see results? No. Tracking macros is a method. It is a tool. I think it's very useful. But again, it is just another tool to use to help you reach your goals. It just gives you a little more flexibility on how you do that. The last thing I'm going to say is the final point, the summary of all of this is, what sacrifice are you willing to make to reach your goal? Everything, there's going to be a little bit of a sacrifice. So I'm just going to kind of take a couple broad spectrum diet programs out there, nutrition programs. Keto, for those of you that don't know, keto is a high fat, low to zero carb diet. People that do keto and see results and can sustain it, what are they sacrificing? Carbs. They are willing to sacrifice carbohydrates. That's fine. I am personally not willing to sacrifice carbs because I understand what carbs do for the body and that I need them. That's my own personal opinion. Whole30 paleo. Same kind of idea. You're eliminating dairy, sugar, refined sugars, legumes, beans, things like that. So again, people that follow those type of meal structures or nutrition plans are willing to sacrifice those things. Tracking macros. What are you sacrificing when you track macros? Time, right? Time. It takes time to input into your phone, figure out, scan your item, make sure that it fits. That does take time. For me, personally, I am very, very busy. My time is valuable. I work from 7 a.m. to 4:30 at my desk job, and then I go to the gym and I work until we close and I get home at 8. I have 2 small kids, and I'm currently in a master's program. And the only reason I bring this up is not to say that I'm busier than you, because I'm not. It's to say that my time is extremely valuable to me, as it is to you. But I am willing to sacrifice the 5 to 10 minutes it takes every day so that I can eat a little bit more variety of foods with a little bit more flexibility. That's my own personal opinion on it. I'm not saying you have to be that way. I know several people who have gotten awesome results from paleo, Whole30, keto, those type of programs because of what they're willing to sacrifice in in their current lifestyle. So that's really what Kevin and I want to impart to everybody, is not so much what you can and cannot do, but expose you to different methods so that you can find one that really suits your lifestyle, keeping in mind that no matter what plan you decide to follow or what kind of structure you want in your life, the 80-20 approach is always long-term sustainability. So if you have to get real rigid for 90 days or 180 days to really reach a specific goal, you will not spiral out of control once you reach it, because you will now be able to implement the 80-20 approach into your life, keeping in mind you should not be dieting for the majority of your life. All right. So anyway, I'm extremely proud of everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed this kickoff. Like I said, I know it was different. A few positive things I heard that I want to leave you with. I got an email from somebody that said they lost 5 pounds in like the first week. That's awesome. I got another email. I got 2 emails actually from people that said, my scale weight hasn't moved. I'm still the same weight, but my clothes are fitting looser. And I've introduced a couple healthy options into my recipe rotation. That's great. These are all indications of a long-term sustainable nutrition program, and that's really what we were going for. So Kevin and I do have a special announcement, which I said that we would. I know that you've had to spend the last 10 minutes hearing me talk in order to get here, but our special announcement is we are going to extend our kickoff for another 4 weeks, bringing you all the way into March 1st. Why? Because we really think that accountability makes a huge difference with this kind of program. We will also be kicking it up a notch by giving you a meal foods list, what you can and what you cannot eat. But wait a second, Laura, that goes against everything that you were telling us the last 30 days plus this entire 10-minute episode. Right. However, what did I also say? There are periods of time where you have to get a little more rigid, a little more restrictive in order to meet a goal, and then you can transition into that 80-20 approach. And that's really what we want to see from those who want to continue on for the next 30 days. So we are going to be rolling that out this week, so you can look for that on the email. It's no charge to you. You've already paid. This is just an extension, another 4-week kind of support system. More than anything, more than even, we won't really be talking about that 80-20 approach too much on the next 4 weeks. We really will be providing recipe ideas, meal ideas based on the approved foods list, and it'll have a point system. There's going to be prizes awarded to the winners. It's going to be a really awesome opportunity to just kick it up just another notch. And you macro trackers, if you want to continue tracking macros, let me know and we'll figure out if we need to adjust your numbers for the current month or keep them the same. But I just want to thank everybody. You guys are amazing, and I personally have been so motivated by all of you, and just having the consistency, the routine back, and having the support of everyone is just huge. So good job. Thank you for bearing with me for this long video. And like I said, be on the lookout for the next 4-week diet challenge rules and guidelines and all that kind of thing. And have a really awesome week. Bye.